Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stoic Mama. My name is Nadia for anyone who is new to this channel. Today we'll be talking about the routines for my three little boys. I have a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and an almost 9-year-old. And I'll show you in detail kind of what the routines look like, how we're using routine charts, where we're placing the charts, etc. So all that good stuff. Alright, let's get started. So first I want to share our subroutines with you all. So basically we have 4 different routine charts for each child. So the first one is the morning routine part A, then we have morning routine part B, the afternoon routine and the evening routine. And the reason why we have 2 morning charts is because the first set of their activities in the morning really happens upstairs where the bedrooms are. And then when they come downstairs, there's a second set of activities that are also part of their morning routine, like at breakfast, get ready for school, that type of stuff. So this is the room of my 3-year-old. Here you can see the routine charts right next to his mirror, and his bed is right over there. So kind of one of the first things he can see. Yeah, don't mind the walls. It's kind of still a work in progress, his room. All right, so let's actually look at those routine charts for my 3-year-old. So as you can see, just looking here at the morning routine, these are very simple cards, big cards, especially for the age group. That seems to work the best. And we also don't have too many steps. So his first kind of the morning routine, right, that part A portion that I mentioned, is really all about, hey, just wake up, put your PJs actually on top of your chair. We have a little chair here where we like him to place his pajamas so he can use it again. Get dressed, and he has his little clothing area over here where his clothes are. And then make your bed. So we'll try to kind of teach him to make his bed in the morning. Turn off the lights. So kind of working on the point of when you leave a room, don't leave the light on, but turn it off. So that's what that meant to be. And then kind of go downstairs. So very simple steps that he has here. And obviously this is not something he can do independently yet. So we do that with him and kind of keep referring back to the chart. And another point, just showing you here, this is how we personalized, right? And then the evening routine chart, since we're here, let's talk about that briefly as well. Again, logical place to really put it is here. Once they are up here, the first thing is he actually does start out in his room, takes off his clothes, and then knows, okay, take a bath, brush teeth, then I put my PJs on, read a book, use the bathroom, and then it's bedtime, kind of lights out type thing. So again, very simple cards, not a lot of steps. We're doing it with him just so he gets started to actually get familiar with the routine and learns step by step over time how to use these routines by himself. And as you can tell, once you look a little closer at these routine charts, they have been through the ringer. So he really likes to kind of tear them down, bend them, mix up the cards, do all kinds of funny stuff, and he thinks it's hilarious. So that's just part of the course of having a 3-year-old. Not much you can do with that. I really recommend just go back on a daily basis and make sure they're still kind of, look the way they're supposed to, or in the right order, the way you need them, so it's ready when you want to use them during the day. And over time, just stick with it, because over time they will learn how to use these charts and become more independent, and by doing so give you actually some of the relief that you and all of us really are looking for. Now let's talk about my 6-year-old, where the focus is really on letting him actually run the show himself. Here's his bed, and then the routine charts right there. First thing for him to see in the morning when he wakes up, for example, or also in the evening. It's right where he needs it when he needs to get started on his evening routine. So again, the personalization that you can see here with pictures for both of the charts, right? So that really makes it his own. And you can tell even with my 6-year-old, it's kind of, I really prefer kind of keeping it simple and big if possible. As you can tell, in the evening routine we needed more cards, more steps, but even then I preferred kind of staying more with that big cards template instead of using the smaller cards. So I do actually in my Etsy shop have these charts available, and I actually also have an option with smaller charts or like smaller cards so it all fits on one page if you have more steps. But for him in particular, I preferred kind of doing it this way, and it seems to work. It seems to work well for him. So let's let's look at the actual routine. So here, as you can see in the morning, for the morning routine, the first one is let in sunlight. That is really a sign for him to pull up his blinds, to do that himself, then get dressed, make his bed. We would like to also for him to put his PJs over his chair, use it again, turn off the light, save energy, and then come downstairs for the next part of his morning routine. And then if we go down to the evening routine, here you can see what we do is he first takes a bath when he comes upstairs, then he gets we want him actually to put the laundry, his clothes, his dirty clothes in the laundry pile, brushes his teeth, gets dressed, and then put also actually out tomorrow's clothes. And that's something he chose to do. So we added that in the task that he could choose from, and he actually wanted to have that he always puts it out the evening before. Then he needs to make sure that his room is cleaned up before starting kind of with the story time, and then lights out and it's time to sleep. So, and again, kind of if you see my other video about how to come up with your routine and the mechanics around it, this flow he has actually laid out himself. He decided how that should look like. So with my 6-year-old, it's really all about him trying more and more to do the routine by himself. So we don't do the routine with him, but he's not yet at the point where he can just, run totally independently, unfortunately. So what we do is we stay in the background, and when he gets stuck at a certain point in terms of, getting distracted by something exciting or is happening somewhere else, or just taking super long with one of the tasks, then we'll just are in the background to keep reminding him to kind of move it along. So that is an important point for us at that age. Another important component is actually timers, and I'll be linking to a video about how to most effectively use timers. So you definitely need that added time element for your routines to really work more and more over time. And reality check for him really is it is really funny. I mean, he likes to get silly, playing around, mess with his siblings, especially in the evening. And it is really interesting. As soon as the timer gets closer and closer to the time when he is supposed to be done, kind of when story time is starting, all of a sudden he ramps up like no one else and is done in 5 minutes with something that he started like half an hour ago. So that timer element, definitely an important piece. Now let's talk about my 8-year-old one. So here's his room, here's his bed, and then you can see over here are his routine charts. So now let's look a little bit closer at the actual routine charts. So here you can see for the morning, it's very similar like the routine charts that his brothers have. Here again, it's personalized for him. And then for the evening routine, for him it works better when he has this type of open done type format, where he has to physically move actually an activity from open to done once it is completed. And this just goes back to him being really tired in the evening, and it just gets harder for him not to get lost in those activities as he does them. And those formats, actually, those open done formats, I also have available in my Etsy shop if you're interested to check it out. So let's actually look at the actual routine that he's using. So for him, the first thing he does is actually put his clothes in the dirty laundry pile. And then he actually likes to take a shower instead of a bath at night. And then, put on your PJs, brush teeth, clean up. That's something that's really important to us. The room needs to be clean before you go to bed. Read a book, use the bathroom one more time, and then kind of lights out. And, for a while, for example, what we had in here, it was before read book, we actually had exercise, because he wanted to kind of do an exercise, like I think it was crunches or push-ups or something like this for a while before going to bed. So, these things, these are really living documents of sorts, like living charts. You can always change them, add it up, mix it up, however it makes sense to you and your family. Now, the reality check with our 8-year-old is actually oftentimes he's just working on some intrinsic project that he has to absolutely start right before bedtime or right before our evening routine starts. So he would come upstairs and start working away at it, and then get very, frustrated or upset that we are interrupting him, letting him know that it's time to start the evening chart. So that is something, we work with him, we work through with him, kind of always reminding him, hey, if you want to be left in peace, just do your things really quickly, just get them all done, done, and then you have still time to do your project maybe for a little bit without anyone kind of keeping calling your name and say, go on, go on, go on. So yeah, every child is really different, as we obviously all know. You gotta just figure out what works best for your child, for your family, and for your routines, and take it from there. Let's actually now head downstairs and have a look how our second part of the morning routine looks like and how we've structured the afternoon. And here the second part of our morning routines, right next to the door to go out to the mudroom and our kitchen. Now let's talk about the actual routine charts. I mean, here you can see they're actually next to each other. It's just space-wise, it doesn't work for us otherwise. And hence again why it's so important to kind of personalize your routine charts. And here we really like to do that with pictures. So now let's talk about the actual routine itself. So here's a continued routine for our 6-year-old, right? So what we like to do is actually we like to incorporate chores that need to be done daily and kind of fit nicely in one of their routine flows. So the morning routine specifically for us is we want them basically to empty the dishwasher when they come downstairs. It's him, the 6-year-old, and the 8-year-old one. So they empty their portion of the dishwasher, then he has breakfast, put dishes in the dishwasher, packs his backpack to get ready for school, brushes his teeth, washes his face, decided that's when he wants to put on the mask, puts on a coat, shoes, socks, and then kind of go get ready for school, kind of leave for school basically. Now our 3-year-old, it's a little bit different. So he's not quite there where he can empty the dishwasher, but he can help set the table actually. So he helps set the table, then again has breakfast like everyone else, puts the dishes in the dishwasher, and again, all these steps for him, he does not do them independently. We are with him and doing it with him. And then gets his backpack ready, he washes his face, and here you can see, for example, he chose this type of look for himself, kind of the more blondish type looks, but he chose it, not us. So I think that's again an important component around personalizing, making it their own. He chose that picture instead of the other one over here for brushing your teeth. And then he needs to still use the bathroom before he leaves the house. Then puts on a coat, and he chose this coat instead of, for example, here our 6-year-old who chose that coat. Then puts on a mask, socks, shoes, and ready to go. And then our 8-year-old here again, he empties his portion of the dishwasher, eats breakfast, dishes in the dishwasher, packs a backpack, brushes his teeth, and also he chose that more lighter look for himself for wash face, then puts on a mask, chose now a third variation of put on your coat, different type of coat, and then puts on shoes and gets ready for school. So this is just kind of an example for you to have as you're thinking about how your morning routines or pieces of it could look like. So going back to the chores component, I very much encourage you to think about what are chores you could include in these daily flows, in your daily routines, because they really go so much smoother if you incorporated them instead of having that separation in terms of having a chore chart, which you still will need most likely. But in addition, try to figure out if there are certain things you can just incorporate here. And over time, it goes so much smoother. They are so used to then just doing it. I mean, my kids, they don't even ask anymore. When they come downstairs, the first thing is they walk over to the dishwasher because they know they cannot have breakfast before they haven't finished unloading the dishwasher. It's just a logical flow type thing for us. So just think about it, stick with it, and over time it'll get smoother and smoother. All right, let's talk about the afternoon routine. Here we are back at the entrance. Here's the door, the famous door where everything happens in terms of exiting and entering our house. Here on the left hand side you see again the morning routine charts, and then here on the right hand side are actually the afternoon routine charts for all of our 3 kids. And you see we placed it actually right where it logically made sense, where they had to hang up their coats, put their backpacks, etc. when they kind of come home after school and daycare. So let's talk about the actual routine itself. So here, this is my 8-year-old again, and kind of what he chose to do is basically, take off the shoes, hang up the coat, put the mask in the dirty laundry, as we all love to do now, and then wash your hands, unpack your backpack, so meaning get your lunchbox out, get any additional clothing items you might have in there, they're out, and then empty your actual lunchbox. So put the dirty, but the trash, put it in the trash can, and then anything that needs to go in the dishwasher, put it in a dishwasher, and hang up your lunchbox, hang it back up here. So in the morning, I know exactly where it is when I need to get their lunch ready. And then basically we finish up that afternoon portion with eat snack. And for my 3-year-old, it's very similar in a certain way, a little bit shorter, but same thing. Again, we're doing it together with him, but that is kind of how we're starting his afternoon routine for him. And then for the 6-year-old, again, very similar. There's actually no difference really to the 8-year-old one. It's just by nature of what it is. So with the afternoon routines, the key motivator for them is actually snack. So the last step in this routine is let's have snack. So they tend to be relatively motivated to actually get it done quickly. And another piece I think that is really important with this afternoon routine is actually to have a space for everything. They should know exactly where their coats go, where their shoes goes, what to do with their lunchbox items, all of that stuff. That is an important component so that they're not wondering, or if it's not clear, which might kind of interrupt the flow for them. Alright everyone, so this is how we're doing routines in my house. If you liked the video, please give it a like down below, and I'll be linking to the video that I've done around timers, since again this is an important component to go with your routine, so check that one out. And if while you're at it, why don't you just subscribe to this channel and stay in the know about other life hacks about modern day parenting. Thanks everyone!